if you fit in, you're just boring. You know, you're just one of many people. Don't let anyone dim your light. Like, you should always shine as bright as that. But it's about instilling confidence in people. And I think me having success, I can say to her, look, I was really weird and I've managed to have success. So if you just carry on doing you, you're going to have the same thing.
Yeah, it's like, why fit in when you're born to stand out? Like, that's why I feel like all of us have our very own unique DNA that can't be duplicated.
There's no one in the world that can do what you do.
Absolutely.
But there is someone in the world that's going to try, and they're going to fail because they should be doing what they do best.
Absolutely.
Being yourself is so powerful, and I feel like a beautiful person, but without sounding weird about it. But because of it, I have now a confidence in myself because of being myself. All of these great things have happened. So now I can walk into an award show dressed however I want and be super confident about it because it's like I've done what I set out to achieve without compromising. You have to be persistent. You have to be on people to make it happen. You got to look at your peers and the people you look up to, and I have a great respect of people that can do things that I can't do.
But I was shocked to find out that you get no help with your writing. Like, you write everything yourself.
Lyrically, yes, but I think I need a lot of help with production and making songs. And there'll be songs like The A-Team and Perfect and stuff like that I'll just go in and I do 100% myself. Whereas there'll be a song like Galway Girl, which is quite a collaborative thing. I'll go in with a folk band, and then we'll all write it together with the folk band, but I would write the lyrics for that, and then it would be shaped in it, basically.
Do you look at other artists different when you find out they don't write their stuff?
Only if they have nothing to do with it. I need to write songs to make me feel better about myself. You get out all your demons in music, and then it kind of clears out your head. It's like
therapy.
It's exactly therapy.
I saw Elton John call you one of the best songwriters of this generation.
That's very kind of him. I don't know, I like writing songs, but I feel like I'm improving day by day. By going in the studio with people like Chris Stapleton and Bruno Mars, you're just expanding your palette and learning new things.
I think you're growing by just living life. Like, the older you get, the more experiences you get.
You can't become better unless you're around people that can teach you things. If I just worked in the studio, things would start sounding a bit stale after a while. Which is what's so great about doing this collaborations project is I've worked with so many different people and seen how, like, Bruno's process versus Travis Scott's process versus like Chance's process. We'll get onto it, but he literally puts a mic up and he just has the verse repeating, and he's just there in the studio, and it starts off as a mumble, and then like words go in every now and then like the first sentence is done but the rest are mumble, and he'll just do it over and over and over again, and then the verse is done.
You and Cardi got similar energies too, though, because Cardi is authentically herself and you're authentically yourself. You think that's why you gravitate towards her?
Yeah, I mean, I love how unfiltered she is. She's literally she's so media trained not to be media trained. Like, her whole shtick is she goes on and says whatever she wants, and that is what works for her. Whereas I never had a media training either, and I feel like I get to just say what I want, and she's successful because she is who she is. There's no one else that can be Cardi B. And there's going to be countless people now that try to be. Yeah. She's had her success.
And it's going to be fake.
Yeah.
That's what I call trying to be fake real. Like, you're trying to be fake authentic.
Yeah. Trying to be fake Cardi, yeah.
Yeah.
I had 2 songs I always wanted to do with Eminem. I was like, if I ever get to work with Eminem, there's 2 songs I want to do. And one's like an introspective storytelling one, and one is something that kind of is more of a nod towards some of the cheekier songs on the Marshall Mathers LP or like the Eminem show. And I was like, when I work with him, because in my mind I was like, it's always going to happen. I've just got to wait. I'll do those 2 songs, and one led to the other. So I did the River song with him for the Revival record, and then through that got to know him. And then I was able to sit down with him in Detroit and approach him with this song, and it didn't feel weird. And now I feel like I've ticked my 2 boxes. Mm-hmm. It feels good.
Don't Touch Me. What's that record about? It sounds self-explanatory, but
probably what we were talking about earlier, having the anxiety of being in a club.
How often do you get in the mood where you don't want to be bothered?
Every day.
Every day.
So I live here.
Every single day.
So I live here, yeah.
But when you go out, you know that's necessary.
When I just have to be in the frame of mind. Like, when I go to an award show, I'm like, right, today, like, it's just happening. Like, gotcha. I'm not gonna get anxiety because this just has to happen today. I don't know, if it just creeps up on you and then it's just there. But I don't really go out to clubs anymore. I used to, Cherry used to live in New York, so I used to live there in her apartment. and we used to go out like most nights. But it was different then as well. Shape of You brought me to a different level of fame. Like I thought I was like at my peak, and then suddenly it was like a completely different world. It's the world of your Beyoncés and your Jay-Z's and your Adele's, and it's just suddenly there's so much interest, you know.
How hard is it to protect your energy? I'm talking about you, your mental well-being, your mental space.
I find I've been working on it for the past eight years, and whether it be getting rid of a phone and only answering emails like, you know, twice a day, or whether it's like cutting down my friendship group to the bare minimum just so I trust everyone, or whether it's living in the countryside in the middle of nowhere and kind of closed off a bit from reality. I think all of these little things are in place to protect this. I think my mind, and it's all working, I think.
Were you ever a social person? Because it seems like you're social, but you only get antisocial at industry functions.
Well, I used to be super social at industry functions. My hobby was to go out to things and meet people that I admired, and then go out and drink with them and end up at a bar. That was like my favorite thing to do. So, you know, I kind of like ended up meeting all my musical heroes and going out to bars with them and having fun with them. And then it's just, now when I go to these events, I just have social anxiety. I just can't. I hate large groups of people. It's ironic because I play shows for a living, but I just don't. I feel claustrophobic, and I don't like being around too many people.
You think it's because you are Ed Sheeran and people demand too much of you?
Yeah, but it isn't even that. I don't even mind talking to people. I have no problem with having a conversation with people. It's just when people like film me and just kind of stare at me, it makes me feel weird, because it makes me feel like I'm not human. You coming up and having a conversation with me makes me feel human, even if we've never met. Even if you just come up, and the thing that instantly shuts me off is having a moment like that with someone that's so human and so nice, and at the end being like, oh, but can I have a picture? And it's like, it kind of then puts you back down to earth, and now you're just that. You're literally just 15 likes on Instagram, and that's who you are. I was at a Marilyn Manson show, and this guy just came up to me, and he literally just shook my hand and went, I like your music, man. And I was like, wow, that was like such a short thing and such a simple thing, but that meant so much. Yeah, so I think I get kind of anxiety because, you know, if I was eating in a restaurant now, I would prefer to have a private room, because if I'm eating in the room with everyone, I get people filming me eat my food while I'm with my wife. It's just, I just find it a bit, you feel like a zoo animal, and I don't mean to be like complainy, because I have a very, very cool job and life, but if I can avoid it, I will.
If you could have the success without the fame, would you take that?
I think my success has happened because I'm so recognizable. You know, it's like I make good. I think I make good music, but I make music that people like. But you can remember who I am. And it's my own fault as well. Look at all these tattoos I've got, and then I start wearing glasses again, and then that's just another thing to make me more recognizable. So I definitely don't help myself in that. There's something has to give, because, you know, I'm starting a life with Cherry, and I'm not 20 anymore. I can't go on the road for 3 years and not come home.
Do you have guilt because you're not around?
No, because I think that's unhealthy, because I'm only not around because I'm living my dream, trying to achieve, and I think it's unhealthy to feel guilty about wanting success. But I feel like I'm missing out. I think there's not so much guilt in that, but I definitely feel like I'm missing out on a lot of things, you know. But it wasn't just when I was with Cherry. It was like I missed like every single one of my friends' birthday parties or events, or, you know, New Year's or stuff like that.
At what point did you realize it wasn't about money? It was about, you know, your time. At what point did you realize that?
Sounds a bit ridiculous, but when you discover something like a private jet, and you're like, I can buy another day with Cherry. I can wait till tomorrow and fly home at 5 p.m, or I can book a jet now and I can fly home and I can gain an entire day. When I was like, money isn't the object, but time is. You know, I'd rather spend more time with you than save more money, basically. I will always turn down every single offer for like New Year's Eve gigs, just because like I'd rather spend it with my family and friends. And it happened very early on in my career, because I never wanted for much, and I achieved a level of success financially very early on that I was happy with. So ever since then, I now can't be bought, because I don't need it. But that isn't because I've now doing a stadium tour. That was like back then doing theatres. I was like, well, if I can earn by playing the songs I want to play, why would I need to be able to be bought, basically?